Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 17th of 2023. It's crazy how fast time just flies by. We're already getting close to D23, which debuts in early September, which is, by the way, when they plan to debut the official trailer for Snow White. It's going to be quite an interesting day to see exactly how that goes. Now, we have a lot of things to talk about today because it does involve something very specific around a very important Disney project that revolves around a live-action remake. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what's going with the live-action adaptation of the animated film Hercules. Now, you guys may remember in the late 1990s, one of the most successful Disney movies out there that are highly beloved by fans. You know, characters like Hercules and Hades, as well as Megara, very beloved characters, very much inserted into pop culture. And one thing about this is that there's been a lot of things going around right now, and everything ranging from Ariana Grande being eyed for the role to portray Megara, but there's more to that we're going to be talking about. But on top of this, there's also a lot of developments involving this film that are quite concerning among the Disney bigwigs, right? We're talking about the board members, the higher-ups, etc., etc., Bob Iger himself even. Now, what's interesting is that we know that Guy Ritchie is and has been trying to create this thing. He's going to be directing it, and he wants to really kind of give it a different retelling, much like Snow White 2024. This is exactly where things begin to progress, alright? Now, with Bob Iger and the board endlessly making poor decisions on their end for live-action remakes, ranging from Little Mermaid to Snow White, one crucial development has to do with the upcoming Hercules live-action remake that is going to upset fans even further. Disney is preparing to up the ante and double down on their DEI agenda with the upcoming Hercules live-action remake, and how much of this concerns the character of Megara. Now, though Ariana Grande is up for the role and being eyed by Disney, this is not the final choice, nor is it the top of the list, as 5 other candidates are also in the roster. However, director Guy Ritchie is preparing to make Megara the ultimate girl boss in the upcoming film. Both Ritchie and Disney higher-ups have a plan to essentially reverse the roles and flip the tables for both Hercules and Megara in the planned movie. Now, there have been conversations of changing the core of this story completely, of not making Hercules a demigod, essentially. Something that would be similar to changing the source material, much like Snow White 2024. Guy Ritchie has held conversations with Disney on changing the source material and drastically altering the backstory of Hercules while making Megara the true main focus of the film. By ridding the story of Hercules as a demigod, there are plans in the works to creating a workaround or spin to the original film. Now guys, let me pause here quick. This is the big concern that I have about this movie. Now, we know that Disney is still focused on their DEI nonsense being thrown into Hercules, not necessarily for the main characters, but more or less for the lesser, more side characters. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But what they are doing with this film, behind closed doors, is they do want to rid of some of the source material. Now, I don't know what's going on with Disney lately. It's, apart from the whole DEI thing, they're also getting rid of source material. We haven't really seen this issue up until recently. Snow White is the first major example of just trampling on the original story, and the same exact thing applies here with the live-action Hercules remake. Now, what's interesting about this is that there are multiple candidates up for the role of Megara. It's not just Ariana Grande. We already talked about this briefly earlier on today, and we promised you guys that we would talk about this. And at the top of the list, we'll talk about this more so in a second, there's another known actress that's actually the top candidate above Ariana Grande. Now, Disney wanted to choose Ariana because she's got a lot of stardom power. She's very much recognizable. They know that it would draw in a lot of fans of not just Ariana Grande herself, but also for people that just, realize that she's playing Megara. and Hercules fans. Now, there's a lot of division right now over that recent, news that broke that she is being eyed for the role. A lot of people are divided on that, and I talked about this on my Twitter a little bit as well. But this is where things get even worse, alright? This is where things get even all the more complex. So, on top of this, treatments of the story are planned to actually go into action in the near future, and how Guy Ritchie is leading this overall movie, and he wants to direct it in a specific way, and completely reverse the stories of Hercules and Megara's interactions and their actions in the planned live-action movie. Now, Ariana Grande is described to be the second most valued candidate. Aubrey Plaza is reportedly at the top of the list, and makes more sense since she is already affiliated with Disney, reportedly for Agatha, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Disney Plus series that's up and coming. Now, both Taron Egerton, this is the one piece of good news, I think, coming out of Hercules. Both Taron Egerton and Patrick Schwarzenegger are the top of the candidates to portray Hercules. Now, I will be honest, the latter is a better decision. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Patrick would make a fantastic choice as Hercules. That's just my call on things. I think he outperforms Taron Egerton just looking at both of their faces and how they are as actors. Now, mind you, he is the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Patrick Schwarzenegger, he's, not a big actor. He's been in stuff here and there. He hasn't really established himself fully. And that seems to be the thing usually with Disney. They usually, tend to obtain more of the lesser-known actors and actresses to portray many of these live-action remakes up and coming. That's basically what their approach is. That's why I always was scratching my head over why they would be eyeing Ariana Grande, essentially. But what's interesting about this, though, is the fact that they aren't necessarily swapping the main roles, which is good news. They're keeping it very much recognizable with Greek culture and stuff like that. But what I like about this is the fact that they are actually using Patrick Schwarzenegger at the top of the list above Taron Egerton. We talked about this briefly also yesterday. We just wanted to put it out here more so now. And what's interesting, though, that worries me and concerns me is the fact that Guy Ritchie is just so obsessed with getting rid of this demigod storyline and just vanquishing that. So this is why I think that this movie is just not going to work. It's going to fail hard. And look, they may be on point with some of their casting decisions. Like I said before, I think that Patrick and Taron are not all that bad of a choice for Hercules. They could possibly do better, but it's not bad for what they are. I'm not really sold on Ariana Grande being the second candidate here, just below Aubrey Plaza, nor am I all that supportive over Aubrey Plaza getting the role of Megara. I think that they could also do better. That's just my take on things. That's just 100% my opinion, Anybody who's a fan of those actors and or performers, that's fine. But I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.